Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 3 of the PNR Porsche Multiclass series. Hi, my name is Anders, and I'll be your host for this evening's event, hosted on the World Sim Series website. I hope you're doing well. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is doing all right. Today we are at Brands Hatch. Now, if you've been watching the most recent streams, I said I was going to be Estral. Well, we found out that Estral has invisible walls everywhere, to the point where 66 almost done his wrists in, basically. So, emergency switch to the Brands Hatch GP circuit. And the early onset is that we actually have quite a few drivers today. We have around about 18, split 10 to 8 for the sprint class to the GT4 series Cayman. So it should be a pretty good race. But before we crack into it, let's take a look at the Porsche Cup standing. 66 is leading the way with 45 points in conjunction with Jay Skyring in P2. So joint first going on there. Then we have a joint place for third for 32 points with Mayer and Lloyd. Seeming as we are only 3 rounds into the series. Mark Coulson is holding P5. Butler in P6. Sobek in P7. Rabano in P8 and Pindalia in P9. And if I interact and we head over to the GT4, Oshegan is currently leading the way with 40 points in the GT4 series. Butler in P2 moved up into the sprint class. Chalia in P3, Sinton in P4, Spall in P5, Esteban in P6. Ranza in P7, Andreas in P8, and Oliveira in P9. As we go trackside, as we take a look at one of the leading cars at the moment. And somehow Cole has managed to do a 1:31.9 in the GT4 class. That is really rapid. That's only 3 seconds off the sprint class, with lots of butts on show for J. Cole. Lots and lots of butts. Interesting choice of skin there. So we have a couple of new drivers driving tonight. So Fella is driving tonight. Mohammed is also brand new tonight. John Connor Max, if you've been watching the early series of Pretty Ninja Racing, is having a go for the first time in months tonight, so hopefully he will do alright. Molodan is another person who is pretty brand new to our racing tonight. Harley, again, is pretty brand new to Pretty Ninja. So we'll see how he gets on. Now, I'm not sure if Wood has driven with us before either. We also have Burridge, who's also in the GT4 class, driving tonight. Some familiar names you'll be keeping an eye out for, I'm sure, is Sinton. But Lil One had other ideas. No worries, Mole. No worries, my guy. That's quite alright, my dude. It's quite alright. You're here now, that's what matters. So we'll keep an eye out for Sinton. Smith, after a really good PNTCC race, is driving in the Porsche Sprint class tonight as well. Lloyd is back in after the horrors of race 2 in the PNTCC. Hopefully he'll have a much better race this evening. I think he might be a little bit off the pace tonight, though. He's not really had a chance to practice this car around the circuit. Butler is going to be on the pounce again, I think, tonight, trying to keep Skyring and 66 on their toes and trying to get them into force errors. Like I mentioned, 66 is in tonight as well. Currently stopped on track, heading back to the pits. The South African is here, Mr. Coulson. Hopefully he'll have a good race tonight as well. Smith just moves up into P3 in free practice. we also have another GT4 driver that hasn't connected, sadly. And we'll see how Rabbit gets on this evening as well. Hopefully Rabbit will be able to get a decent race under his belt. But we'll have to wait and see. But free practice is almost finished. Just like any of our formats, it's only 10 minutes of qualifying, and then they'll be into a 20-minute race with 300% tyre wear applied to the cars. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. And Cole still somehow setting banging lap time after banging lap time. 2 seconds quicker than the rest of the GT4s, the closest GT4, and only, well, it's 2/10 off a 911 sprint class, which is a bit odd. Because this car is definitely slow in a straight line and definitely slower in the corner, so Coulson needs to get a move on, really. Oh, he's a second. Okay, 1 second and 2/10, 1.2 seconds. And there's lots of butts on the Cole machine. Let's hopefully there isn't a butt end to his race today. And here is Rabbit flying through. So Skyring currently topping the leaderboard, but we'll have to keep an eye on how he gets on during qualifying. Hopefully Rabbit will have a nice little drive today. Lloyd's found a little bit of time. In fact, he's jumped ahead of 66. So I think today's race could well be a race of damage limitation here for 66, as Rabimus goes over the starting line to end our free practice session. Whilst we're away, let me talk you through some of our other events. The PNTCC comes back next Monday night, racing at the Nürburgring GP circuit. Tonight you're watching the Porsche Multiclass Series here at Brandtach GP. Next week we'll be heading to Road Atlanta, so keep an eye out for that one next Wednesday. And this Sunday in the GT2s we're going stateside to St. Petersburg to race around the airfield and slightly city loop. And hopefully that should provide some good racing, and we may have some new GT2 cars ready for this Sunday, so keep an eye out in our Discord for more information. If you want to join in any of the events that you can see on the screen right now, all you have to do is click the link in the description below, and if you feel extra cheeky, join our Discord. We don't bite, we're all friendly folk here at PNR. Let's see how we get on through qualifying. So the cars are just heading out now. We will keep an eye on Senior Skyring, who is actually first out of the blocks. And he's got the clear track ahead. He's 6-6 right behind, Smith right behind, Butler after that, and then Lloyd after that. So the way that you can see the cars on screen, the top 15 cars. But there are a few more cars today, so let's see if we can extend the amount of cars that we can see. And apparently there aren't, so we'll just go 16 then. Is there only 16 cars? Looks like there's more. Where's Connor? Connor Graham's there. Sobek's there. Burridge is there. Yeah, I got 18 cars in total, so let's just add a few more on just in case. Apologies about that. Let's try wood. Yeah, there are plenty of cars. Right, so Skyring is heading over the timing line. Let's go on board. Let's go for a lap around Brands Hatch GP with Jay Skyring. And see how they get on. And Jay Skyring is definitely pushing really hard on this lap. Pushing. Really using the gears to get that front end chucked in. I'm not sure who the car behind is. It might be 66, but I feel like some corners are getting the better of J Sky, but we'll see as the times come over the timing line. I think it's going to be a little bit tricky to keep on top of things. Lloyd is currently in the pits, so clearly wasn't too happy with how the car was set up. Coming back out of the pits now. And over the timeline to go, 27.1, but 66 nips ahead with a 27.089. Butler's going to be next to cross over the line and does so in P3. Coulson will be next after that, and Butler, yeah, Coulson goes ahead of Butler. So Butler clearly had a bit of a rough qualifying session there, and Coulson spins it on T1. That's not what he wanted. And Sinton moves into P4 currently. Sobek moves into P5. Oh, he needs to watch out there, Mr. Coulson. Well done. And the GT4s are slowly coming over the line. Where is Cole? Cole is just starting a flying lap now by the looks of it. Burridge currently leading away with a 33, but we saw in free practice that Cole had a lot of pace. John Connor Graham is currently making his way around. First race back in many months for Connor. So hopefully he'll have a good race and don't take it too seriously to heart. Fella is just ahead. I think slightly holding Connor up a little bit here. And we'll just see what sort of lap times start coming over the line now. Lloyd is just starting his flying lap now, so we'll just keep an eye out on the bright green Porsche. Smith moves into P3 in the qualifying stance right now. Sinton moves up into P6. We can see a GT4 not quite given enough room to the 911 sprint car class behind, or a cup class rather. This is looking decent for Lloyd so far. Get that rear end out. Oh, he just runs a bit wide. And that's going to be the end of that lap. Now, what's he going to do? He is going to the pits. Should have just kept going. It would have been quicker and easier for him just to keep going than to fully restart. So Lloyd, Fella and Mohammed are the only ones yet to set a time. Skyring has pipped into the lead in the meantime with a 26.5. 66 is only 3 tenths behind. Smith is only 4 tenths behind. Butler is a little bit off the pace compared to the front three. Not by much though, we're talking very minuscule sort of levels again. It's very tight at the front end. But Brands Hatches are very, very tricky to get the overtaking done. And 66 just pips ahead of Skyring. These two are battling it out in every aspect of this championship so far. So it'll be very interesting to see how the racing goes. But like I said, qualifying is very important at Brands Hatch because it is a very tricky circuit to overtake on. It sounds silly, it's very tricky to overtake, but you're easily overtaken. It's one of those where if you make an error, people can capitalize on it very easily. But if you're trying to force an overtake, it's very, very tricky to get by. Cole leading the way in the GT4s currently with a 32.1. Burridge with 32.4. Graham with a 33.5. And Skyring just literally smacked Jamski off the circuit. I think Jamski was trying to get out the way, but instead completely murdered Lloyd, who has yet got a qualifying time in. So it's not going well for Lloyd tonight so far. On the upside, if he starts at the back and gets through all the GT4s, you don't know what's going to happen into T1. And people mainly run wide at T1 at the start of Brands Hatch race, especially when they're in a quicker car. They just try to carry too much speed through. Fella with a 3:03. Very slow lap time indeed. Hopefully they'll pick up the pace fairly soon. Wood in P14, Harley P13. Seems like the GT4s, there could be a bit of a race on between Cole and Burridge, but we did see Cole do a 1:31 in free practice, so whether that'll be the case during the race, I don't know. But hopefully Lloyd will be able to get a lap time. And let's not look at Lloyd. Let's have a look at someone else. Let Lloyd do what he needs to do. Let's have a look at Sinton Rabbit, who's caught up to a GT4. Rabimus is trying to give himself as much of a space as possible. Fingers so he will catch up to GT4 pretty quickly. He needs to get moving because there is a sprint class coming. What sort of lap time can Rabba do? He's using all of the circuit. And hopefully he'll be able to get a good time. Colson's called it a day. He's stopped on track right now. That's why he's in the red band. He's in the pits. The 66 is done. Colson is done. Mo is done. Mohammed is done. Control is done. That's me. And Mayer has just jumped in just in time. It's at P18 and will be starting at the back of the grid in the Sprint Class Series. So Mayer's managed to just sneak in at the very last moment. Let's see what Sinton can do with this very small time left. Butler is finished. He's stopped and gone into the pits. Moloda is finished. Colson's finished. Sobek is finished. Harley looks like they've finished. So a few positions are set in stone right now. Fella has just moved up into P13 with 35 flat. Wood has now finished as well. This is looking quite good for Rabbit. GT4 moving out of the way there. That's very kind of them. And Lloyd gets a lap time in up to P7. And Sinton comes into the pits. Clearly no improvements there. Skyring is also stopped. Smith is pushing like mad, but whether there's any improvements, I'm not sure. Yeah, he's pulled it off into the pit lane. Lloyd has also stopped. Cole has stopped. And I think the last car to come over the line is Conor Graham, who doesn't make any improvements, but still very good from everyone. Very good from everyone. So 66 is your... Ooh, come on. Behave. There we go. 66 is in P1 for today's race. Skyring P2. Smith P3. Butler P4. Sinton P5. Molodan, sorry. Said that completely wrong. Molodan is P6. Lloyd P7. Coulson P8. Sobek P9 to round off the sprint class. Cole in P1 for the GT4s, followed by Burridge. Then Graham in his first race back is in P3. Great effort there by Graham. Mohamed is also got a really good lap time in for a brand new driver here at PNR. Fella also a pretty good lap time after setting a 3-minute time with a 1:35, so pretty good. Harley is P15 in theory, but it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in class. Wood in 7th in class, and then right at the very back is Mayer. Now why is 66 at the back of the grid? Mayer seems to be reversing. Interesting. Okay. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how this unfolds. It could be absolute carnage. We're looking at P1, which has the inside line into T1. And we will try and keep an eye on what carnage unfolds for the first lap and a half. And now we are just waiting for those 6 red lights. Then we'll be off we pop. So sit back, relax, turn up the volume. Let's get this race on the go. 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 light, 6 lights. And off we pop for round 3 of the PNR Porsche Multiclass. Sinton, massive jump start, gets a drive through yet again. And they're going 2, 3 abreast into T1. Skyring is under pressure from Butler. Feller's also got a drive through for a jump start, but Skyring's trying to get around the outside, but Butler's having none of it. I think, was there a car that spun out? It was Sobek who spinned it. Smith has also got a drive through for a jump start. Graham has dropped a position as well. He's currently having a bit of a ding dong with a few of the GT4s. He just needs to keep it clean. He's got a car on his inside as well. Don't overdrive it. Well done. Nice little bit of scrapping here in the GT4 class. Harley currently in the lead. Wood second. Fella. Oh, now Graham is now 3rd in class. Fella 4th in class. I think Smith's just jump starts for us from being rear-ended. Oh, really? Ah, yeah. That's probably true, actually. Especially if it was Rabamus that did the bumping. But Graham doing all right there. I think Sobek. I'm not sure whether they waited for Coulson, but Coulson and Sobek are at the back of the grids. Let's look towards the front of the grid, where Skyring is currently trying to put pressure on Butler into T1. As people are doing their drive-through, so things are moving about. Skyring up the inside. Butler runs wide, which should allow Jamsky to get down the inside into Druids and up to P3. Lloyd goes. Butler's really pushing, gonna get down the inside into, I think that's Graham Hill, maybe. And all the Porsches are running wide. Sinton's got his drive-through done. There's plenty of time left to go. Cole is up into P6 in GT4. Burridge is only 4 tenths behind, but Lloyd is massively under attack from Butler as we head up to the fast double left-handers. We can see just in the background there Maloda running wide, and Lloyd runs wide, and Butler goes through. And that has been, well, we saw in qualifying, Lloyd wasn't really getting on with that corner very well. So Graham has just managed to get his way past Wood as well. So Graham just needs to get his head down, keep it nice and smooth, tidy, and just see what sort of result they get at the end of the race. But so far, the GT4s up and racing. Sobek is trying to get through the GT4 backlog, and so will Coulson. And now Butler is chasing down Jay Skyring. 66, our current race leader and current championship leader, going off the way the results are right now, is only leading by 1 second. Skyring is on the charge, however. And Mayer makes his way past the GT4 of Cole. However, Burridge is really rather close to Cole by the looks of things. Yep. So let's just keep an eye on this for a moment. Burridge is chasing the ass of Cole right now. Sorry, the butt punts are just going to come out, really. Cole missing the apex slightly there, not carrying as much speed through. Just where the Burridge can put him under enough pressure to force a mistake. But there is a sprint class 911 on the way, which will either help or hinder either one of these drivers. Usually helps the chasing car, usually. Jay Skyring fast lap of the race so far at 1:27.015. And there's Smith behind. Oh no! And Burridge loses the rear end. And sadly, oh, that was a lot of time lost there for Burridge. A lot of time lost. And again, a lot of time lost there. He's just over pushing the car. Just needs to relax a little bit. Harley P3 in the GT4 class right now. As Jay Skyring is trying to put 66 under pressure. Minutes left of the race to go. And these two do need to be careful because the tyre wear is at 300%. But at the same time, the more they dice, the sooner Butler and Lloyd and Melodan will get onto the rear end. Mayer, after starting right at the very back, is P6 in class right now, P6 in the race. So really good start by Mayer there, taking full advantage of the drive-throughs. And Sobek and Coulson have still got quite a lot of work to do to get by the last two GT4s. At the rate these guys are lapping, we're probably looking at lap cards around about the 6th minute left to go. And Smith is off. Oh, it looks like T1 probably touched the gravel and lost the rear end. So that's Sinton up to P7. With Smith all the work to do yet again. And back to the front two pair we go of the race standings. We can see Mohammed has just managed to overtake Wood. So up to P15 in the race they go. And Skyring is diving down the inside to take P1. Oh, but runs wide. That's going to basically give Butler a massive run into Druids. And now Skyring's got even more work to do. He's going to have to catch 66 up yet again and fend off Butler. Which, if the PNTCC on Monday night is anything to go by, this could get rather spicy rather quickly. It looks like Connor Graham is also trying to put Harley under a bit of pressure. Losing the rear end there, just clipping too much grass on the right hand side edge. It's not really the sort of corner you want to clip. Conor Graham's just got to race his line. Just got to keep it going. Down the inside he goes. Hard on the brakes. Gets it stopped. Gets the move done. Brilliantly done there by Conor Graham. Really good move. Someone's off in T1. I'm not seeing any red lights come up, so I'm not quite sure who's off in T1. Maybe Fella, but there was no red lights. But looks like Conor Graham got the job done, and hopefully he can set himself a nice little gap. It looks like he already has. I think Harley's made a mistake there. So that's Conor Graham up to P13, but P3 in class. As we head back to the front of the grid with Butler, currently sitting in P3, 8 tenths behind Jay Skyring. 66, currently just probably doing a bit of tyre management. These tyres will burn off pretty quickly, but I think by the end of the race we're going to have a 4-car stack going into the last few minutes of the race. Sobek's just done a personal best of the race so far. Mohammed is just overtaken Harley, and Harley's just overtaken Mohammed back. So I think Mohammed got through but went wide. And Harley's clearly had a big off somewhere because he's 9 seconds down. Conor Graham's just set a personal best for the race so far. Yeah, look at that. Harley lost a lot of time there. 6 seconds to the car behind. So just needs to get it tidied up. Keep the focus on. Keep it going. I think a lot of these drivers don't realise as well that there's 300% tyre wear. So come the end of the race, it will be a little bit touch and go. Jay Skyring's now almost within half a second of 66 up ahead. And a new fastest lap of the race as well for 1:26.667. So clearly the tyres for Skyring aren't really a problem. He's happy to burn them through. Where else along the field is there much going on? Mayer's just set a personal best of the race, a 28.5. Sinton's just set a new personal best of a 28.001, 28.0 flat basically. And Skyring is all over the rear rear end of 66. Mole says if Butler keeps it as smooth as he did in the other Porsche on Sunday, he may have an advantage at the end. I think he might well do. Skyring is definitely burning up these tyres to try and get, but he knows that he needs to finish ahead of 66. At the end of the day, oh, he's looking down the inside. What an awkward corner to overtake, but he's done it. He's put off 66, but not quite got the job done. He's trying around the outside there. He needs to be careful because Butler is there sniffing. He's waiting for the incident to happen, and Lloyd is just watching all of this unfold, thinking, go on, all three of you, just you know, fall off the track. And Skyring runs wide, which is going to give Butler the run into T1. There's going to be a switch in positions. And I can hear a car off the circuit ahead. It's hopefully a GT4. Yeah, it is a GT4. That'll be the GT4 fella, and hopefully that'll just get out of the way. And Skyring goes from P3 attacking to P2 attacking, sorry, to P3. And just like I said in qualifying, it's not an easy circuit to overtake, but it's an easy circuit to be overtaken, as Molandan is in the pits. I'm guessing either for damage or they just burning out their tyres really quickly. For a 20-minute race, you shouldn't need to do a pit stop, but see what happens there. The top three are only split by 8 tenths, basically. So we go on board with Butler, who's run wide, and that's a GT4. That'll be Fella that got in the way, I think. It will be. So Butler either misjudged it completely or the GT4 going away. We'll have to have a look after the race. But that's Butler down to P4, Lloyd into P3. Skyring's back into P2, but 66 has got a 1.2 second lead. Oh, and it looks like Butler has gone off again. You heard a car He has. He's binned it. So that could be the front aero damage with the GT4. Or did he just decide to pump fella? I don't know. One of the two. But that's Butler now pretty much P4 secured. Lloyd is going to pretty much get P3 as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. Or has Lloyd been really clever, looked after his tyres, a bit like 66, keeping it smooth and steady, and see what kind of happens towards the end of the race. Who knows? But Skyring is still pushing quite heavily with 6 minutes to go. Coulson is now up to P10 in class, or P10 in class and P10 in race, as the back markers are coming through. Yes, again, I think that's Wood there. And Skyring's going to try and go around the outside. He's got it done. And there's another car that's off. That's going to be Harley. Yeah, Harley's gone. He's gone off circuit. Hopefully he won't get in the way. We can just see how difficult it is to pass at Brands Hatch. In the faster class, you've got to be pretty decisive. You've got to be pretty confident. The next up is Mohammed, who's taken the inside line. Really not helped the sprint class, but 66 got the job done. It was very close. And Mohammed just not quite sure what on earth he's doing there. Really not sure what's going on there. Yeah, I was going to say that's a retirement, that is. Because I caught it, he teleported back to pits during the race. That's just not allowed in the PNR series. So they have been disqualified. It's a shame with 3 minutes left to go. But first attempted to take out the race leader and then teleported to pits, which is not allowed. So can Skyring get anything done to finish off the race? You can hear a car in front also not having a great time. Smith flashing up red there, spinning off at the very awkward uphill left-hander. It is a very tricky corner, to be fair, to get it absolutely nailed right. But not bad at all from the likes of Sinton. Mayer is also having a very good race, starting from the back of the grid. And Skyring is a little bit off the pace. I mean, Lloyd's only 1/10 behind, or 1/10 slower at the moment, but is 2 seconds behind. Whether Sinton can get anything done, I'm not sure, but Skyring's gone into the lead here. Oh, it's 66. Did 66 spin it, or did he get punted? Well, that's Conor Graham up ahead, who would have got out of the way. So I'm not entirely sure what happened to 66 there. But that's not like 66 to make a really big unforced error like that. Practically handing the victory to Jay Skyring. But whether he outbraked himself into Druids or... There's Conor Graham. Just move him right out of the way. Luckily, there's quite a big gap between him and the next car in the list. And Butler might try, in this last few moments of the race, make up some positions. So Lloyd is P2, 66 has fallen down to P3. Sobek is currently spun off the circuit in a very precarious place. It looks like the rear ends of these sprint class cars might be causing a bit of havoc. And we've got another car that's currently off. And Smith has fallen down the ranks again and has also spun out. And Malodan makes their way up to P7. It's a few more instances tonight than one would like in regards to spins and just general sort of driving etiquette. But here is your race leader on their final lap of the race. And Skyring comes over the line to take P1. Lloyd P2, 66 finishes P3 after making an error, which we'll have to take a look at. Butler in P4. Mayer, after starting right at the back of the grid, is going to come over the timing line in P5. He'll be pretty happy about that. Sinton will be P6. Graham has finished P3 in class for his first race in like 6 to 7 months. It's a great job there. Malodan is going to be taking P7 in class. Smith will be taking P8 in class. 9th will be going to Coulson, and Sobek will come round in 10th. Cole is yet to come over the starting line to finish the leader, number 1 in the GT4 class. His race didn't come to a butt end. And he comes over the line, P1. Bet Graham's going to be quite satisfied with that as well. I can't see P2 in class, annoyingly. Yeah, I can't seem to select Burridge. Not sure why, but who knows. There's Burridge, just crossed over the line now. And the only driver not to finish because of a DNF for teleporting back to the pits was Mohammed. Because teleporting to the pits is not allowed in our events. So there we go. Skyring is your race winner. I got a funny feeling we have a few instances to look at tonight. So let's head to our events page. And we will take a look at how things unfolded for people like Butler. What happened to 66? And we'll see if we can get ourselves some answers. Calling it Pen for Skyring, taking out 66 as more. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. we'll see. First, I want to see what happened to Butler, because quite frankly, it's not like him to just disappear off circuit. So we'll have to take a look to see what happened. Now, Smith is here. Where is Rabimus? Here is Rabimus. So let's move over to the broadcast. So this is Rabistinton. Backmarker took him out, he said. Okay. No worries. Oh no, Smith just jumped too early, and so did Rabbit. Rabbit reacted off of Smith. So Smith got his own undoing, really. So that's what happened there. Let's move to... Sobek is in the wall. Let's see what happens. So Sobek's coming up the hill. What on earth happened there? That is some mega... I have not seen anything like that ever. So there's Coulson, who got taken off. That's camera static. What on earth happened to Sobek? That is one of the weirdest things I have ever seen. It happened in front of you. What? Yeah, what happened? That was so weird. But Burridge, good race. Well done. With the P2. What on earth happened? New level of racing on WSS. Oh, I'm glad to... CD, what was your tag in the race, bud? Butler, Mayer, Skyring, Smith, Meloden, 66. Press F6. Netcode, I reckon. Thanks, Andy. No worries, Mayer. Cole, press F6. I'll press F6 once I find Sobek. That's Sobek. F6. Whoa. Wow. That is the biggest netcode I think I have ever seen. Whoa. Holy crap. That is ridiculous. There is no one near Sobek, and boom. It was almost like a flipping Call of Duty kill strike fucking just came down right on him at Druids. Absolutely smashed him out of the race. Jesus. You know what it was, actually? I know what it was. It's Cole and his butt livery just fired out something out of the crack of his bonnet and just took Sobek out of the race. I think that's what it was. Yeah, I made a silly mistake, says Burridge. Biggest I've seen on WSS for sure. Anywho, good race, Burridge. Shame you got an off, says Cole. My first time in a 911 Cup. It was really fun. Oh, nice, CD. Oh, you're Meloden. Sorry, I butchered your name at some point during the race, so I apologise about that. Right, so that was event number 1. Now, there's quite a few events that happen in this race, which I'm a bit like, okay. This is interesting. Sorry, not. I want TV Cam 1 for now. Now, the next car I would like to look at is Butler, because apparently Butler gets taken the F out, which was around about... Well, he's nowhere near everyone there. He's nowhere near everyone there. Nowhere near him there. There's Lloyd just ahead. But he was... Oh, here we go. We found it. We found the incident. So let's see what actually happened. So Butler says that he got taken out. Now, there's a difference between taken out and taken out. GT4 should have yielded more. The GT4, if we're going off the rules of what the P&R has been doing since the dawn of time, this is in theory Butler's bad. Okay? And I will tell you for why. The reason being is that the slower car is up to the car behind to pass safely and decently. It was the same for our 3-hour Daytona race. It's been the same for any other multi-class that we ever have. And the slower car always gets priority. Always. Because it's much easier for the faster car to judge what the slower car is doing ahead of them. Okay, so it's up to the faster car to overtake safely and responsibly. Now, I can understand why Butler feels aggrieved. Because the moment there's contact, the reality is this 911 Cup car has a lot more aero than the GT4. The GT4 is not right over. There is a bit more space over here. Okay, it doesn't really matter who's in the GT4. I think their name was Feller, or if I remember rightly. But the GT4, realistically, going into this corner, because the apex is roughly where, I think that's Skyring just ahead. It's roughly there. So if you look at the trajectory of the GT4, they're pretty much on the racing line. Butler squeezed in the politest way. Butler didn't quite give enough room. It's not up to the GT4 to yield. It's up to the faster car to overtake respectfully and safely. So sadly, this is on Butler in the eyes of the P&R stewards, aka me. Okay. Now, what could the GT4 do differently? Yeah, the GT4 is not in a race. He's not racing anyone. He's not trying to catch anyone up. Forget if and it was that livery. I don't believe it was you. What was it? Control I think someone said. That's racing line. Someone said Control L. Yeah, there we go. Fella. Yeah, I was right. Oh, it's 66 ahead as well. So, what could the GT4 have done? Realistically, if I was in the GT4, I would have let these cars through, because at the end of the day, I'm not racing anyone. My race is pretty much over, you know. But at the same time, they don't have to yield. It's not their responsibility to, and we can clearly see that because of the aero of the 911, Butler technically at no point, apart from maybe there, we're talking that much, that Butler was ahead of the GT4 before turning in. So, sadly, I can understand why Butler feels aggrieved, because I would be if it was me and I'm chasing down the race lead of the race. But under the rules of just general multi-class, it's up to the faster car to pass safely. So this is on Butler. Now, I know what happens afterwards as well. So if we speed it up, you can see, understandably, Butler's rage gets the better of him. Well, no, he spins out. Sorry, I thought he punted someone off. Because when I went onto stream, I saw Fella was off at the same place. Oh, that's unlucky. What happens? Oh, yeah, the rear end of the car just clips the grass. There we go, yeah. Oh, that's so unlucky. Using as much track as possible. You know, if this was VAR, I'd spend half an hour on it now and just claim that that's not offside. But, you know, the ball's still in play. But sadly, that's what sent Butler around, which ultimately destroyed his race, sadly. But yeah, incident beforehand, I'm sorry to say, that's on Butler. Now, 66. What happened to you, sir? Am I handing Jay Skyring a penalty, like Mole says? Let's have a wee look. We're just going to fast forward, because I think it's a couple of laps after, or one lap after. So it's not this one. I mean, even then, I think Skyring was very close to the GT4. Yeah, I think it's around here. So we'll get around T1 and then we'll play it. So there's T1. So this guy got kicked for this move and the fact that he teleported to pits. So this guy got, banned because that's clearly an attempted takeout. So it's next lap, that's 66. So you can see Skyring slowly cranking up the pressure from to 66. But let's just see what happens. Is there going to be a time penalty? Or did 66 just get it wrong? Okay, wasn't this lap. Next. Next lap. Let's go. But Daniel is correct. It is the responsibility of the faster car. Right, here we go. So Jay Skyring's looking down the inside. 66 is late on the brakes and just loses the rear end. I figured out not too long ago what 66's kryptonite is. And Jay Skyring does it perfectly here. And that's just being aggressive. Purely being aggressive. And that's it. 66 spins out, handing Lloyd, wherever they are, pink, P2 for the race. Now, I don't think there was really any other instances like that, but if there are, make sure you sign up to our Discord in the link description below. There is a little steward's inquiry form that you can fill out, and then I will take a look at it in my spare time. And obviously penalties hand out. And as we're passing this car here, I would like to do a special shout out because one, it will embarrass the crap out of him, and two, a bloody well done. So this is Connor Graham. He hasn't raced with us or raced at all sim racing wise for about 7 to 8 months and managed to get P3 in the GT4 class today after 7 months of being out. He literally did a few practice laps yesterday with me, just trying to get back into the swing of things, and managed to finish P3 in his first race in 8 months. So if you could join me in just congratulating Connor on coming back and a fantastic result for the GT4 class, I think that's, yeah. So that's Lloyd showing Connor a bit of love because we do love him and we miss him racing with us. He was one of the original founding members of PNR and just had to take a break because it was just getting too stressful, which is fair enough. Right. Who else was there? I mean, my race was pretty boring. I was just in the pits all race, so we don't need to look at that. But that is about it, really. Not sure what happened there. But yeah, that is about it. Connor, we expected better. Fair play, Connor. Nice skills. He did really well in a very slidey Porsche, for sure. Very slidey Porsche. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Porsche Cup class. We'll leave with this nice little... That's a nice little looking sort of Porsche right there, isn't it? Right. Well done, everyone that got involved. If you have anything that you want me to take a look at and possibly hand out a penalty for, let me know through the Discord. Fill out our form. I'll keep an eye on it. You have 24 hours before I just completely ignore it. So you do have time. Okay. Almost caught me after a mistake I made. But if you want to join in more PNR events, give us a cheeky subscribe because we're only about 15 people away from 200, which is a massive milestone for us. So much love to you guys that have subscribed. We do have more events coming up if you are interested. So tonight you joined or watched the Porsche Multiclass event. Next week we are racing, if I remember rightly. I'm trying to remember where we're racing next week. I completely forgotten. How bad's that? The GT2's heading stateside and it's going to be in St. Petersburg. The Ferrari, the Porsche and the BMW with more cars hopefully added. The Pretty Ninja touring cars. Next Monday night, our best event going is at Nürburgring GP. Make sure you get yourself signed up for that one. You have to be an amateur license though on WSS, so make sure you just get grinding and get that license free so you can join in with that one. And the multi-class next week is at Road Atlanta. Oh, that's going to be a good one. So make sure you get signed up for that and get some practice in because that is going to be a very tricky race, especially for the GT4s. Just going to put that out there. I hope you enjoyed yourselves tonight. Ooh, has the standing... Ooh, the standings might have come in. Should we have a quick look? Let's have a quick look. So refreshing. There we are. So Jay Skyring tops the leaderboard of the Porsche Cup class with 70 points. 66 with 63. Not quite 66. Shame. Lloyd in P3 with 52. Mayer in P4 with 46. Butler in P5 with 34. Could have been more. But to be fair, Butler also did one race in the GT4. So the fact that he's technically one race down and still putting in that sort of result is rather mega. Coulson in P6 with 32, Sobek in P7 with 21, Sinton in 8th with 12, Rabano, Pendalia, Bolodan and Smith rounds off our Porsche Cup class. And make sure you keep joining in because you never know what could happen. The GT4s. Oshegan is leading the way with 40 points. Didn't race tonight. Butler, as you can see, with 25 points. If you added the 25 points realistically to his Porsche Cup class result, he'd be up in P3 right now. Chawalia in P3 with 25. Cole coming in and going straight into P4 with that race victory in the GT4s with 25 points. Burridge in P5. Sinton in P6 after moving up to the 911 class. Connor Graham in P7 with 18 in line with Sinton. Sport, who sadly couldn't race tonight, is P8 with 16 points. Joined with Harley in P9, so they're joined P8 really. Wood in P10 with 14 points. Fella getting some points on the board with P12. Everyone else down below either got a DNF or rage to quit. One of the two. Okay, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. Look after yourselves. Have a good rest of the week. I'll catch you on Sunday night for round 4 of the GT2, World Championship stateside at St. Petersburg. Tatty bye now.